A reading from the prophet Isaiah. Thus says the Lord, have a care for justice, act with integrity, for soon my salvation will come and my integrity be manifest. Foreigners who have attached themselves to the Lord to serve him and to love his name and be his servants, all who observe the Sabbath, not profaning it, and cling to my covenant, these I will bring to my holy mountain. I will make them joyful in my house of prayer. The holocausts and the sacrifices will be accepted on my altar. For my house will be called a house of prayer for all the peoples. The word of the Lord. Be gracious and bless us, and let your face shed its light upon us. So will your ways be known upon earth, and all nations learn your saving help. Let the nations be glad and exult, for you rule the world with justice. With fairness you rule the peoples, you guide the nations on earth. Let all the peoples praise you, O God. Let all the peoples praise you. May God still give us his blessing, till the ends of the earth revere him.
A reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Romans. Let me tell you, pagans, this. I have been sent to the pagans as their apostle, and I am proud of being sent. But the purpose of it is to make my own people envious of you, and in this way save some of them, since the rejection meant the reconciliation of the world. Do you know what their admission will mean? Nothing less than the resurrection of the dead. God never takes back his gift or revokes his choice. Just as you changed from being disobedient to God and now enjoy mercy because of their disobedience, so those who are disobedient now, and only because of the mercy shown to you, will also enjoy mercy eventually. God has imprisoned all men in their own disobedience only to show mercy to all mankind. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus left Gennesaret and withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. Then out came a Canaanite woman from that district and started shouting, "Sir, son of David, take pity on me. My daughter is tormented by a devil." But he answered her not a word. And his disciples went and pleaded with him. "Give her what she wants," they said, "because she is shouting after us." He said in reply, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." But the woman had come up and was kneeling at his feet. "Lord," she said, "help me." He replied, "It is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the house dogs." She retorted, "Ah, yes, sir, but even house dogs can eat the scraps that fall from the master's table." Then Jesus answered her, "Woman, you have great faith. Let your wish be granted." And from that moment, her daughter was well again. The Gospel of the Lord. In the Gospel, we find that during his time on earth, Jesus twice praised the faith of pagan people. The first one was the centurion who pleaded to Jesus. He sent his servant to Jesus so that his servant will be healed, as he was seriously sick. And then when Jesus was going to his house, he said, "No, don't come to my house, but I don't deserve that you." We still say those beautiful words that we say just before we receive Holy Communion. "I do not deserve that you enter into my room, but only say the word and my soul shall be healed." Those were the exact words of the centurion, a Roman pagan who pleaded to Jesus for healing of his servant. And this is the second one, the Canaanite woman, coming from a sect or a part of Palestine, the Canaanite, who did not believe in the God of Israel. And so they were considered to be pagans and enemies. And yet this woman used a kind of terminology that the Jews used, taking quote from the Son of David, "Have pity on me." That's a quote from the Old Testament, from the Psalms. And insisting on Jesus, believing truly that he had the power to heal her daughter. And Jesus wanted to test her faith. He wanted to test her faith by ignoring her, as if he was not hearing her. And the disciples pleaded to him, "Give her what she wants, so that we can carry on." But Jesus ignored her. Is that what sometimes happens to us? When we're going through difficult times and we plead to God to intercede for us, to help us in our condition, in our situation, and we find ourselves ignored by God or refused what we are asking. Just at that moment, maybe God is testing our faith. And we need to take the example of this woman, to be persistent, to have this faith and keep praying, keep pleading to God, because God at the end hears our prayer. Not necessarily He gives us exactly what we want, but surely He gives us what is best for us. And this is the beautiful thing, that faith allows us to believe that God always gives us when we plead, when we insist, when we have faith and pray. God will give us what is best for us. And this is something that should be enough for us. What do we want more? God knows more what is needed to us than we ourselves know about it. So if we have this blind faith in God, then yes, He will give us what we want. And this is the prayer that we do today, taking the example of these two miracles that God performed, especially this one today of the Canaanite woman, that we also have the same faith as this woman and be able to follow it and be also able to have the same faith. Let's say this prayer that we have on the screen. Lord, make me love you. No one seems to love you, Lord. By loving me. If you love me, give me a sign of your concern. For then I shall be happier and perhaps more attractive to others, and they will love me. Show me your love.